Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the Experience channel. Hello, welcome back. Recently I just wrote an article about my top 5 cameras for 2016. The article is based on cameras that I already own, so it's not a wish list. They are cameras that I already have and I have used all of them, so I made a prediction of which cameras I'm going to use the most throughout the year. I may buy some new cameras throughout the year, but this list is based on the cameras already owned right now. So it's a top 5. So since I wrote the article, and I'm going to link the article below, why not do this on a video form also? I thought it's a good idea. So I'm going to start with number 5. I'm going to end up with number 1, obviously. And on number 5 on my list is the Yashica Electro X. That actually it's back there. Okay, so I'm going to talk about it, about my experience of it, of using it. Just for fun, I checked the weight of the camera with that lens. I'm going to show which lens is it, and with the other lens, just for fun. And I'll share with you the results later on. So if you want, I'm not going to post on the screen the features of the camera. It just will fill up the screen with text. I'm going to link below also a site. I think most of you guys that enjoy analog photography probably already know about this. But this site has, I don't know if all, but a big amount of camera manuals of older cameras. And there you can just go throughout it and read all the features and main features of the camera. You can just read directly from there. It's a great site, it's a great resource. If you can just donate to the site, just to keep it going. I don't see any reason why I put it here because it's already there, so just go there and check it out. So I'm just going to get my camera, and here it is. It's the Yashica Electro X. So this camera, it comes in the silver color or on the black color. I actually got it on silver. I enjoyed it. Most of my cameras of this type are in silver. The reason I bought it was because it's a screw mount system. So this will actually open up more possibilities to buy some more lenses. If you own an Olympus camera, you need to buy Olympus lenses. If you own EOS camera, you need to buy EOS lenses. If you have a Nikon, which is normal, but this it's a more, it opens a spectrum of new lenses, especially the Tacomore lenses. This is not a Tacomore, they are expensive lenses. I'm just trying to find a budget to actually buy one of those, but this is a screw mount, so just literally screw the lens on. And here it is. So I'm going to go through some of the features of the camera. It's not, it's heavy. That's why I checked the weight. I'm going to show you a clip of me weighting it, but with this lens. So this lens is a Yashinon. It's a 50mm 1.4 lens. It weighs around 1 kilogram with this lens, and spoiler alert, it weighs a little bit more than 1 kilo with that lens. I'll show you in a second. So let's go through the standard features of this camera. So we have the aperture on the lens, which is something pretty standard. It just in this case it goes from f16 to 1.4. It's a 1.4 lens. It's a very sharp lens. It's a very enjoyable to use lens. It had a hood. It had a rubber hood, but it just deteriorated itself, and now it's just in bad shape. So I just took it off. It just doesn't make any sense to have something damaged on this camera. So as I mentioned, it's a screw mount system. Okay, so in this case, it ranges its shutter speeds from 1/1000th of a second to 1 second, and bulb, obviously. The ISA settings goes from 25 to 800. It's more than enough to regular use. It has this one thing I don't enjoy it very much. This is the lever to check your exposure. I don't like this system very much. It has a red arrow and a green arrow. So in this case, it's telling me two red arrows. That points to the direction. So it's telling me I need to open my lens more. It's pointing to the left, so I need to rotate it to the left, or else it just tells me to rotate to the right. So there are a few arrows there indicating me if it's two red arrows, one pointing to the left, one pointing to the right. It's telling me where should if I should increase my aperture or decrease my aperture. I don't like it very much, but okay, I don't use it anyways. I use the 16 rule most of the times, so it's okay. So I have here the actual shutter speed selector, the advanced lever, okay, the shutter button, hot shoe, standard hot shoe, the film advance here, and you have here the battery check light. If you press it, it turns green and lights up, so the battery actually is functioning correctly. The frame counter here, pretty normal, and that's pretty much it. So we have here your flash connector, and over here your flash connector too, the X and the FP connectors standard. So the only thing and of course the self timer here. The only thing that I really want to mention about this camera, it's its shutter sound. So let's check it. Yeah, sounds good, isn't it? And it has a mirror up feature, which, if I'm not mistaken, at the time not that many cameras had it. So it seems to be something special about the camera at the time, a feature that not all cameras had. And also I would like to mention two things. So to open the back door, usually pull it. In this case you don't, you just have here a little notch, you just pull it down and it will just open as standard, nothing out of extraordinary here. Let me just fire this once and bam. Okay, so this camera actually uses some batteries. You can check it on the site to check which batteries are they. It needs a batteries to operate, except when you are using the 1/1000th of a second shutter speed. So if the battery fails, you can still use the camera if you stick with 1/1000th of a second shutter speed. That's the maximum shutter speed you can actually shoot at. And when I start the camera, knowing this, I usually start it setting this to the 1/1000th of a second shutter speed. Maybe a myth, maybe something out of my head, but since this has a mechanical speed of 1/1000th, I suspect it does not use the battery on this position because the camera does not have an on-off button. So I just stick it to 1/1000th of a second, and hopefully it will not drain the battery on this setting. And so far, the batteries I fitted here are still the original ones. They are about 1 year old, and they are still going. See, so let's see if we see the light, it just shines. So they are still operating fine. The only funny thing that happens also is if you start for a few days and you hit the battery check, it may not work immediately, just try a couple of times and goes back to normal. Maybe it discharges some capacitors inside, I don't know, and it charges it back. That could be. So as you see, pretty standard camera. The main feature for me, that's why I bought it, was the screw mount system, and it was that cheap. So it was really cheap, this camera with this lens. So I really cannot complain about it. And one thing you should pay attention, it's the battery. So you have the battery door. So just check the site, and the guy will explain it really carefully. So we see that it has the 544 ever ready or equivalent batteries, or the PX28 equivalent batteries. So there are different models. One uses 6 volts, others uses some different voltage. Just go and check on the site. Mine uses 6 volts, and obviously the 544 and the PX28 batteries are not readily available right now, or they are, but are very expensive. So what I did was, I'm just popping here the battery compartment, and I'm going to turn it quickly, and I'll show you why I'm doing this. So I'm just using wait a second, 4 of these. Let me see, they are the button cell batteries. They all, I don't really remember right now the reference. So it's here, it's AG13, and 4 of these will actually produce the needed voltage for this camera to operate. So one thing, so these all stacked up, they are more or less fill in the same space that the original battery did. However, it does not fit really snugly, so I just add a little bit of tin foil and you're good to go. So you just need to check your polarity. So yeah, as you can see, I have here the actual battery hole. You just insert the batteries there. Use the tin foil to hold everything together inside, and screw on the battery door, and it should be fine. So let me just pull them out again, and give me a second. I'll just cut this segment so I can put the batteries back in. Before I come back after fitting the batteries, let me share with you guys just a few shots. Here's a shot of my wife. This is one of my favorite shots with her. It was shot with the actual Yashica Electro X. One funny thing about this shot is that I didn't shoot it. It was my 3-year-old daughter. I just set the aperture, I set the shutter speed, and I focused by distance. So I more or less guessed the distance of the camera to the subject, my wife in this case, and my youngest daughter, 3-year-old daughter, took the shot. It's a cool shot. It's one of my favorite shots of my wife taken with this camera. But I cannot say it's mine because my daughter took it. But that's fine by me. So I'm going to show you a couple more. Here's a color shot of a couple of color shots of street photography. I don't shoot much color, but the ones I shot, many of them I shot using this extra camera. Hope you enjoy this. Back to the video about the camera with the batteries fitted. Okay, I've put the batteries back in. So they are 4 1.5 volt batteries, so it adds up to 6 obviously, and I just put them back there. The tin foil I use the tin foil just to keep the cap snug, and everything is back to sorry, to operation. So it's just shining back, so everything's fine. So I don't know why this camera does not get more love. It's a very functional camera. It's a little bit heavy, 1 kilogram. It's heavy, but I use heavier ones. So let me just get my other lens. So this lens, it's 135mm 2.8 Helios lens. Right now it has the EOS mount adapter. I can use this one with obviously the M342 mount cameras, this Yashica camera, or on the EOS system, or even in Micro Four Thirds. But I don't enjoy. Well, that's a different conversation. That's a different story. I really enjoy this on full frame cameras, like film cameras or digital cameras. I'm going to remove the adapter just to reveal the lens. So this is a pretty decent, very sharp lens. I really enjoyed this lens. I really enjoyed this focal length also. However, I prefer slightly the Olympus 135 2.8, but that's just slightly. This one, it's particularly useful to be adapted to digital cameras because it features the manual or automatic setting. So some cameras can set the aperture themselves, or you can just do it by hand. That's the setting I prefer. So this one, it's also excellent because it has 2.8 aperture, obviously, and it has in-between stops. So it stops in between 2.8 f4, etc. But that's a different story. So let me just mount this on the camera for you guys to see the difference. So here we have the camera with the 50mm 1.4, and I will mount it with the 135 2.8. So it looks good to me. I don't know why. Some people just don't enjoy this camera or doesn't get enough love. It's heavy, but I enjoyed the heavier body with longer lenses. It balances it quite nicely. So there are more lenses for it, obviously, but these are the ones I own. This one cost me, I don't know, 15 euros or something like that. It was that cheap, and I really enjoy using it. It's very sharp, even for digital cameras. So let me just put it back here, just for show, and the lens. So I'm going to, throughout this video, I will show you some clips of close-ups and the actual weighting of the camera. That's all for now. I will keep doing videos about the rest of my top 5. I hope you enjoy this one, and I see you next time.